Born at the end of World War I, John Stevens grew up on an East Texas farm, far from the big cities and the modern world. But soon John's journey in life would lead him away from the rural crossroads at Richland, Texas, and the world that he knew there. Ahead lay a road that would lead to Abilene Christian College and later to the far reaches of the globe as he answered God's call to serve his people. And serve he did. Before he finished his life's journey, the farm boy became a soldier, a chaplain, a scholar, the president and chancellor of Abilene Christian University, and perhaps his greatest achievement, a servant. In 1943, while serving as a preacher in Beaumont, Texas, John Stevens volunteered for the Army's Chaplains Corps. After attending chaplain school at Harvard University, Stevens reported for duty to the 109th Infantry Regiment in the famed 28th Infantry Division. The road to war loomed ahead for Chaplain Stevens, to the beaches at Normandy and far beyond. This is his story.
I reported for duty to Colonel William L. Blanton, the commanding officer of the 109th Infantry, and I found him to be a marvelous person. This was a truly great gentleman. He asked me, he said, "What did you do in civilian life?" I said, "I was a preacher." He said, "What were your duties as a preacher?" I said, "Well, I preached sermons and taught classes, and married people and buried people and visited the sick and tried to be a citizen of the community and know everybody and build up the church." Well, he said, "Then I want you to be a minister in this regiment just as you were in civilian life." He said, your ministry is the 109th Infantry Regiment. And as a chaplain, you are free to associate with the officers, the enlisted men. If you want to eat in the enlisted men's mess, you're one officer who has that privilege. Or if you want to be at my table. And he said, "My door is always open to you. You're a member of my staff. And I want you to help whatever problems these men may have, and they can come to you, and I want you to feel free to deal with them in the best way that you can. And bring me any problems that you think that I could possibly help with." So it's about as good a commission, I suppose, as any person could have had. Turn him loose with a group of soldiers and say, "Do what good you can for these people."
Never far from his men on the combat trail, Chaplain Stevens became a minister to the regiment. As casualties mounted and the aid station became overwhelmed with wounded and the dying, Major Stevens and his chaplain's assistant rushed to the front lines with a stretcher to save the wounded who could not wait for medics to reach them. Often under fire on the battle line, the chaplain brought rescue, prayer, and calm to critically wounded men as he carried them to safety during that desperate time.
I heard somebody whistling, and I turned around, and here came Chaplain Stevens with his hands in his pocket. Beautiful day out, just checking butterflies and flowers and things like that. And I turned around, and he was just coming over the brow of the hill where he would come into view of the Germans. And I said, "Chaplain, "What are you doing up here? Get out of here. Get down." And he went into a little, about a third of a crouch, and I said, "Get down, Chappie, get down." And he crouched down about halfway, and I finally cut loose with some pretty strong cuss words, which I don't usually use, but damn it, Chaplain, hit the ground, and about that time he hit the ground, and then this machine gun that I knew was going to, it just fired shots all around him and threw dirt all over the area. And I cussed him some more and said, "Turn around and crawl out of here and don't get up here in the front lines anymore." So
Chaplain Stevens marched front and center at the liberation of Paris, and soon he would be the first U.S. Army chaplain to enter Germany. His journey as soldier and chaplain was nearly over. Ahead lay a new road with new opportunities to serve as a scholar, as president, as chancellor, as servant.